about your group, and you got guys out there.
I got guys out there, but about a month and a half ago, I had one guy take me out pretty bad. The one that you just spoke, to. That I told him, I said, you may not ever get a catch from Baylor. I said, if you hit me again like that. But I said, it's been a good group, and everybody's kind of learning what others' mix are, so it's a good deal right now.
How easy has it been to kind of focus on, insert this tight end group into a new offense? Has that been a challenge? What have been the learning curves there?
It's been new for these guys because they were in 12 personnel, and it's not so much 12 personnel, but just outside zone scheme and more kind of play action, naked driven, things like that. So I think one of my players today said, Coach, I've run more 15-yard routes than I have in 5 years here. I mean, it's kind of a learning process from playing a little more up-tempo pace than it was before.
A good thing? Have they embraced that change?
Oh, they've embraced it. I think from football school through camp, they've kind of understood the process of what we're trying to do, and it's kind of the philosophy saying we're still trying to learn some aspects of kind of what we're good at.
Has anybody in particular stepped up, or are you still, is it just one big blob, or?
I think every day is kind of a different day. That's what I say. It's like 51st dates sometimes, I think they act like is, one day that somebody may step up a little bit more. Yates has a role that he plays in the blocking scheme. Trigg made a play, and Klopp made a play today out there. Kelsey has just dinged up his shoulder a little bit, so he wasn't out there today. So they've all contributed in different ways, and even Cody made a play the other day in the scrimmage, and it was good to see him, and Hawk has too. So, I think one of the first scrimmages, I think everybody had a catch besides Gavin that first scrimmage.
What is Gavin's role specifically? Kind of the same thing.
To be really, I've asked him. I've kind of besides taking his coach out and kind of putting him on the shelf for 4 to 5 months, but. I told Gavin, I said, I want, you're the older veteran. I said, I want you to be the leader of this group and try to have a voice and, kind of get guys going from that standpoint. And I think he's done a good job. And sometimes I told him, I said, sometimes you have to take a bigger role amongst the whole offensive group saying that.
In terms of the group as a whole, can you sense that there's extra motivation within them when you come in and there's not a guy who comes back with 600 to 800 receiving yards and it feels like there's that opening for somebody to step up and fill that number one role?
And I think anytime you have a new coach, I think they know that even if there was a returning veteran, it's like I told them, I said, everything I see from you is new. So everything, I'm judging you based on today and tomorrow and the next day. So whatever you did last year, and the film may show great things, but I said, I'm only judging what I see. I said, I see it on film, and that was past tense, and I said, I got to play for today and play for tomorrow.
Curious if when Gavin got you, did it change business as usual, or was it just another normal day?
It wasn't a normal day. He caught me pretty good, so he ended up, it tore my rotator cuff and it separated my shoulder. I told him, I said, if you don't hit anybody as hard like that or as hard as that on game day, I'll be very disappointed or you won't play very much. And he came up to me and said, Coach, that's probably one of the hardest hits I've had in college football. I said, I'm glad to know that, Gavin.
I was going to say, do you leave more impressed with his ability to hit, or is he more in the doghouse after?
You know what? I don't think I had time to kind of, I got Kelsey because I was talking to Kelsey at the time. So Kelsey said, kind of look out, but Gavin was kind of hitting me at the same time. So I kind of got on Kelsey too. I said, was this a tag team combo that you're kind of trying to take the coach out?
Testing you right
They were trying to test the waters, but I told Gavin, I said, and it's hard because you could tell that he felt bad from that situation. I said, things happen, and I said, accidents happen, and I said, I don't expect you to change the way you are, the way you do things. I expect you to go 100% all the time.
How's it been working under Coach Spavital and seeing Coach Aranda do his stuff on defense too?
It's good to finally go with Coach Aranda and not have to go on the opposite sidelines against Coach Aranda. I've known Spav and had friends and things like that, and coached with Spav, so it's good to kind of get back in the system with the system that I'm used to.
What's that offensive staff like? Just because it's all new faces except for Coach Bay.
It's funny because some of us have been in systems kind of similar to each other. So I said we all kind of get into that. So Baker's really the old goat in the room from that standpoint. But all of us gel in a good fashion in that way.
What draws you to a job like Baylor when they offer it to you?
Probably getting back to playing that team up north sometimes. I said, just kind of the added motivation, but I said, I don't have to add motivation from that standpoint. But, you know, when I stepped in the office and with the interview with Coach Aranda, I said, that probably put me at ease. And with Mr. Mack, I said, just talking to them and seeing what they're trying to build and get to the next level.
Did you know Coach Aranda very well, or?
Only just from playing, just never knew, just going against him, standing across the sidelines, just trying to win the game on that day.
Is there anything football-wise that he talks about that, even in your experience, you're still like, well, I can't? How does he see that? Because we hear about how his mind just works so differently.
You know what's so funny is I think I was here for 2 days and we were flying to go to recruit a young man, going to recruit Michael Trigg, and I'm thinking, okay, I'm trying to get a recruit. I'm on a private plane with Coach Aranda. I said, am I going to screw this thing up or mess this thing up? And it was ironic. He was drawing defenses up that day, and I'm like, I feel like I'm in a time zone like with the other coach that I coached with. It's like, here I am with the defense. I'm here with the defensive coordinator mind again, and then he's drawing up blitzes and coverages and things like that to match, and I'm just like, here I go again to have to match. You're having to match wits all day long against him.
Is that kind of interesting having Gary out there on the field?
You know what's funny is I walked around a corner one day and I heard a "Hey coach," and I'm just kind of looked and kind of startled for a second. So it's we kind of get an offense and defensive staff. So it's like when you get in the meetings, sometimes it's just unusual seeing a different colored shirt on them.